Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here tonight with Bruce McCurdy. Welcome, Bruce.
Hey, David, how are you doing tonight?
Good. Did you ever hear of the Icelandic poet Stefan Stefánsson?
Yes.
So he lived in rural Alberta, and he was a farmer by day. And the name of his book, Bruce, is Andvukar, and it means restless nights. And
Oh,
he was
yeah.
up late every night um, writing, and that's why he wrote this, because that's when he got all the work done. And these Bakersfield games that go into the early morning hours, like tonight, they have me thinking that we're living the Stefan Stefánsson lifestyle right now, with all this late night work. But
Minus the poetry, eh?
yeah, and we don't speak in Icelandic. I think he's one of the Icelandic heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe their national poet. I don't know. How can that be? Because he lived most of his life in Alberta. Anyway, this was a late game, second
Okay.
overtime. Bakersfield Condors won this game 2-1, descended into Game 6 on Monday night. I'd like to say it was a thrilling game, but it was actually a very tight checking game for most
Mm-hmm.
of it. It wasn't a very exciting hockey game for most of the game. There was an unbelievably low number of scoring chances in regulation time, 4 for the Condors and just 2 for San Diego, Bruce.
Wow.
And that never happens. There's usually about 20 a game, and this
Mm-hmm.
one was at 6. Things picked up a little in overtime, and of course there was a fantastic winning goal. So let's talk. That's one of our items. We've got 6 items to talk about tonight. That's item number 1. Let's talk about the winning goal. Why don't you go for it? Tyler Benson and the Josh
Oh,
Curry.
yeah. Yeah. Well, it was just a fairly simple play off a uh, almost a tied draw, but the puck got chopped out to the point to Caleb Jones. Uh, he found Tyler Benson in the below the hash mark with a pass from the point. Benson took one look, zing right on the tape of Josh Curry, and Josh Curry took, I think, 0 looks and zing right into the far corner past the red hot Jeff Glass to finally end this thing. I thought Glass was never going to let one in, David.
Yeah, he's been really, really tough. But he got it. He was the second best goalie tonight, Bruce.
Yeah.
Skinner was better. And that was the beauty of that play is Tyler Benson isn't like, he's not Guy Lafleur out there. Like, he's not flying up and down the ice. You're not going to notice him a whole lot. But that is the typical great Tyler Benson passing play. He wins the puck, he gets the puck on the boards, and before you know it, like before you
Bam.
even zing, the pass is right on the guy's stick and in perfect
Over and over again, eh?
shooting, scoring position. And that's his NHL skill. That's
Mm-hmm.
why he will be an NHL player, I believe. And you can just imagine setting up Draisaitl or
Oh,
McDavid with similar kinds of plays.
oh. I
He's
saw
gonna he's gonna be an NHLer, right? Like, I know that people are down on him because he's not the fastest skater, but
I saw him real good tonight, and I mean, fast skater is great. But man, does he ever pick his spots, and he picks them quick. Like he sees these little seams and wrinkles and gaps in the coverage, and sometimes he cuts inside, and sometimes he cuts outside. But he seems to have a really good, almost unerring instinct to where is the good ice to take that puck, or to create a passing lane that he can zing the puck through. And I'm starting getting to the point now where I'm sort of, without reading the numbers, which is a little harder on the blue sweaters. When the puck's on his stick, there's no question who that guy is. He's got a kind of a distinctive style and way that he moves with the puck. Between his ability to carry it and his ability to pass it, it'd be nice to see him get the third weapon going of the shot. I don't think he's
yes.
quite there yet, but uh, he's coming in leaps and bounds. I thought, he's been getting better throughout these playoffs.
Item number 2, we'll go with Evan Bouchard. And Bruce, I thought he was, in regulation time, he was the best defenseman on the Condors.
Mm-hmm.
He he got that all important first power play goal, with his typical get the puck, slam it hard at the net with a wrist snapshot and tipped in by Gambardella in front of the net. Just a fantastic play by by Bouchard getting that shot through. And that's what he's known for. He had a ton of really good defensive plays though in regulation time.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, Bruce, I was surprised in overtime when they went to 7 D men and he didn't get on the ice that much. They were, especially the offensive zone faceoffs. I mean,
Yeah.
they had Jake Kulevich out there who scored a grand total of 2 goals in the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And for offensive zone faceoffs,
Yeah.
come on, like play to win the game. And when
Yeah.
they did have Bouchard out there, what did he do? He feathered a beautiful backhand pass
Yeah.
to Patrick Russell that almost won them the game. So
Yeah.
he was back to playing hardly any shifts in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. Like, this guy can play at this level. He's your top prospect. You have a chance to put him in this kind of game in this situation, get him this pressure pack situation, let him play and try to win the game with him. And I didn't like that at all. And so I'm just going to say that.
I sure like that pass to Russell.
Wow.
That was sweet. And Glass read the play, and he still had to scramble and made a great save. Like that was a really outstanding save. And then Gambardella nearly cashed the rebound after that. That was two splendid chances right in a row, and basically Bouchard breaking up the middle of the ice and finding the space, and then the pass to Russell was really what created that chance.
His best game for the Condors, Bouchard. So let's,
Mm-hmm.
he'll just keep building on that, I'm sure.
6 points in 6 games, eh? And that point shot, I watched that replay 2 or 3 times, and I'm convinced that he was shooting for Gambardella's stick.
Oh,
He
I think
wasn't
so
shooting to
too.
hit the net. He was shooting for the deflection the whole way. And I like defensemen that see those deflections and then can put the shot in a place where the forward can do a little damage with it.
It's been some time since the Oilers had a D-man like that. Like I think Pronger did that.
Yes.
But that's a high level skill and
Mm-hmm.
really exciting to see Bouchard. And that game is as well as I've seen him play, honestly. And
Mm-hmm.
at the pro level, it was really exciting to see that, to see him be we have a really, really good AHL game in the playoffs against a very good San Diego team. So kudos to Evan Bouchard. Item number 3, Stuart Skinner.
Yeah, I got Skinner for number 3 for the win. And this is his third game in a row now after starting the series, not even in the bench, but in the press box. And he's come on to replace twice in a row Shane Starrett halfway through the game. And last game, he allowed just 1 goal on 19 shots. So tonight they went with him to start the game. And he faced 46 shots tonight, and 1 got by him for a 978 save percentage in a game where if the second puck got by him, their season was over. And I'm not sure he had a lot of great saves, but he did have 2 or 3 really, really tough stops. And he was just a rock back there. Like you say, any mistake and it's over. And, your heart goes in your throat sometimes watching almost routine play, shots from bad angles, shots into traffic. And he was a rock. I was really impressed with Skinner's game.
The 1 goal that went in, Stanton and Keegan Lowe were just
he had
horrible.
no chance. He had no chance.
I don't know. Keegan Lowe, he had a few really rough moments in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the team's playing well. If you limit, including Keegan Lowe, if you limit the opposition to 2 grade A chances in 60 minutes of regulation time, 8 grade A chances overall, and however many minutes that was, like 93 minutes in total. Yeah. So that's pretty good. So I don't want to get on Keegan Lowe too much, but that was a bad moment. He had a few others. Skinner, I was surprised to see him start. I thought they would go with Starrett. I thought, that you go with you dance with the what is it?
The one that brung you.
You dance with the one that brung you. You go home with the one that brung you. So whatever the slogan is, I thought they were going to go with Shane Starrett, and they didn't. And it was a gutsy call by Woodcroft, and it really paid off. Skinner was super solid on every shot, and his defense did a great job of clearing away rebounds when there was a few juicy rebounds, I'll tell you, and it could have been plopped in the net, and they didn't fall in the wrong place for Stuart Skinner, and they went in the right place. And players like there was a couple goal line clearances. Stanton had one. Vesey had one. So
Vesey, after he had coughed the puck up to create the chance in the first place.
Yeah, it was same with Stanton. He had made the turnover that led to the sequence of pain and saved his own bacon. But good for Stuart Skinner, Bruce. This is what is he, 20, 21 years old here?
He's 20.
He's 20. His 20-year-old goalie.
First year as a pro, and here he's put baptism by fire playing double overtime in an elimination game and producing a performance like that. That's a great stepping stone for this kid.
He didn't have a great year.
No.
I think his save percentage was below 900 in the AHL
Mm-hmm.
level, if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
mistaken, if I recall correctly. And but man, made all the saves, made a lot of really tough outside saves, even though there wasn't a lot of grade A chances. There was lots
No.
of hard
A
outside
lot of
shots, and
great B chances, eh?
he handled every one of them. So good for
Mm-hmm.
him.
Well,
Item number
letting in great B chances had been a big problem for the Condors in this
they
series.
had to stop that, or you're
Yeah.
never going to win in the playoffs. Okay, we on item number 4.
Mm-hmm.
My turn. Just the with the Bakersfield team had a lot of injuries, so they were missing Luke Esposito at forward, Kyler Yamamoto, Cooper Marody, Mitch Callahan. And the thing about Yamamoto and Marody are they're not they're not great skaters, perhaps by the NHL quality. Maybe Yamamoto is, but on this AHL team, this isn't a super fast Bakersfield team. And so Patrick Russell, I think, has been struggling a little bit. Like we've seen him good in a number of games, but the last few games he's just having some trouble. And this is going to be the issue for a lot of these players. So I think Benson and Yamamoto are clear NHL prospects. Ryan
Mm-hmm.
McLeod, but
He looks good, eh?
the ceiling is for Gambardella, Russell, Malone, obviously, and Josh Curry is going to be set by their skating.
Mm-hmm.
And the only I guess Russell's a pretty good straight ahead skater. It's just going to be interesting to see if those guys we got a taste of them at the NHL level, Bruce,
Yeah.
and this year, and they all seem to do okay. But I just wonder if one of them is going to figure out a way just to do enough of all these things like winning faceoffs, winning battles, penalty killing, forechecking, hitting, blocking shots, all these other little things that it's going to take to become an NHL hockey player. So
My
they've
my
got
favorite is Joe Gambardella out of those guys to do
me
that.
too, but and it's not close. Although I like Curry quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the offensive game translating in the NHL, but I see Gambardella's game translating because he'll do whatever it takes to win. And
He's a real bulldog, eh?
yeah, I really like his game. He's pretty fierce in his own way, and I think he
Mm-hmm.
might make the Oilers next year and be an effective hockey player. So, item 5.
Well, I'm just going to give a hat tip to the Condors' third line, who they may not have seen as much ice time as the top two lines, but those guys played a pretty strong game. And among the three of them, they fired 14 shots on net. 6 for Evan Pooley to lead the team, 5 for Tyler Vessel, and a couple of real dangerous ones. That guy can scoot a little bit, and he can find the holes. He's maybe not a great finisher, at least not what we've seen for sure, but he certainly gets himself involved in scoring chances. And then little Dave Gust, had 3 shots of his own, and I just thought that line, they didn't have a lot of like serious issues behind their own blue line, and for the most part, they were driving the play forward and getting decent shots. It's one of those ones where one of those shots into traffic could have gone into the net and ended the game, but they kept firing away, and I thought they were solid enough for a fairly low pedigree trio.
They've been playing really well throughout the playoffs. They're a part of the strength of this team. I thought Vessel had his best game of the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
and Evan Polai is such a bulldog, and hope he gets a contract. I like that. I like that group of players. All right, item number 6. I'm going to go with Cameron Hebig. He
Okay.
didn't get used much in regulation time, but in overtime, he had a dangerous rush with Benson, made a drop pass to Benson, and they got a little bit of a chance there. And then he tipped the Kulovic shot in the second overtime that almost went in. So, he's an interesting player. He started out really hot, Bruce, this year, and then he completely cooled off, and he's been in and out of the lineup. But he does have some speed and offensive ability, so good for him showing what he can do in overtime. All righty, so that's it.
I got one little shout out for Josh Curry,
Okay.
a guy whose game I dismissed with a single word, invisible, after game number 4, which I thought he just really just was not a factor in any way, shape, or form. Very disappointing. And tonight he had 5 shots on net, which is 5 more than he had last game. And of course, the game winner on a rocket release from the slot. First goal of the playoffs, and maybe the one that's going to turn on the spigot for this guy because on his good nights he gets lots of chances and he just hasn't been finishing. But that's a good time to find the net. Second overtime.
Well, there's nothing like getting called out in the cult of hockey game grades to motivate a player, Bruce.
I don't do the single word grades very often. Getting to
Some
the
of the players
point
do
is
read
not
these.
my
I guess some of the
strong
players
suit.
do read the grades too. It's
Well,
not
maybe he
unheard of.
read that and decided I better go out and score the game-winning goal to shut that McCurdy up. Cut him from
Yeah.
1 word to 0. And I
Good
like
luck.
Josh Curry, but I have to call each game as I see him and
Yeah, and that's the
how it
thing. Like,
goes.
and
It's not. It's not vindictive. It's like you're defining the performance as opposed to the performer.
just one game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, Bruce. Monday night. Monday night it is.
Monday night it is Game 6 back in San Diego.
I think it's going to be a really hard
Hopefully
game to
Game
win.
7. Hopefully Game 7
Yeah.
in Bakersfield on Wednesday.
Geez, they've been hit hard with injuries.
Yeah, what's up with Callahan?
I don't know.
Missed
He
that.
took the pregame skate and
Oh,
didn't play.
okay. I
But
thought maybe they benched him because he was pretty invisible in that last game.
maybe they
Also,
did. Esposito sure got hit hard. I bet you it was that Benoit hit that knocked him out.
anyway,
All right. Thanks, Bruce, for talking.
thanks for listening, everyone.
And in the meantime and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.